is 4 days to the kickoff of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. The fever continues to spread across the continent. And there's some news coming from a few of the camps today. Not a very sweet one for Super Eagles of Nigeria. They have lost one of their strikers, Victor Boniface, to a groin injury. So Terry Murphy, the Nice player, is currently on the standby as a replacement. Also for Ghana, for the Black Stars of Ghana, Mohamed Kudus continues to be a source of concern. He missed Ghana's goalless draw in the AFCON friendly against Namibia yesterday. A few days ago, they say he was in Accra for treatment for some form of discomfort. So it's been some not very sweet news from some camps. And of course, for Sadio Mane, he married his longtime partner, Aisha Tamba, of course, very recently in Senegal. So all the single ladies in Cote d'Ivoire, beware. Mane is picked up right now. And for Morocco, they are the first country to eat Cote d'Ivoire. They arrived last Sunday. So those are the development coming from the build-up to the 34th edition of the AFCON. Kyle Dugundari and James Agberidi, they are here. And today we will be looking at the last but not the least group in this AFCON content creation. That is Group F. Guys, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Femi. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Okay, guys, before we go quickly, we need to look at some pre-AFCON friendlies that were played yesterday. And the Super Eagles of Nigeria continues to be, I don't know what adjective to use at this moment, a very big source of worry for the football fans who have been very expectant, but yesterday they were frustrated and disappointed. We talked just a little bit before that friendly. The results, the outcome, how did it come to you?
It didn't come as a surprise. It was
losing 2-0 to Guinea.
No, it didn't come as a surprise, especially when I saw the lineup. Femi, it's so ludicrous that 5-6 days to the AFCON, a coach would lining up an experimental side. I expect that since you do not have the luxury of other friendly games, the lineup you're going to put out will be your best possible 11. That's what I feel. I might be wrong, but common sense tells me that from now going forward, what you should be doing is playing your best 11, your best possible 11 in every game because the more they play together in match situations, the better for the team, for the team to gel together. When they were scoring in the 12-0 meaningless game with those part-timers, I felt that was a better place to use to experiment, not in a game like this. By yesterday, I expected him to have a first team that's going to say, this is my strongest possible 11. That's what I expected to see. But when I asked you whether the game was going to be televised live. But the moment I saw the lineup that you sent to me, I just forgot about it. I wasn't interested in watching again. I'm telling you, I wasn't interested in watching again because for me, that does not indicate seriousness. And this is just a sign of what to expect at the AFCON. Although, on the flip side, it was better that they didn't even get a draw in that game. If they had, these players and a lot of Nigerian fans will feel that the team has arrived. Now that they have gotten that kick in the butt, maybe, just maybe, everybody will wake up and do the needful.
Okay, James, what is your position? Before we talk about Ghana's goalless draw against Namibia, would you agree with Claudio? Would you say that perhaps Pesero was just being cautious because now he has lost 3 key players? Boniface is out, Taiwo is out, and of course we also have Fred Ndidi out with injury. Would you say that maybe he was just being cautious about injury? You know, remember just by Sunday, the Eagles will be getting their campaign underway against Equatorial Guinea.
Well, for me, just like what Claudio said, I mean, by now it's your first 11 that you should be using in games like this. Fine, I know that you might be thinking of injuries, but you are close to the tournament. So the game against those the Abu Dhabi based side, I mean, that's where you should have tried these new guys. Then try I learned he tried to use 3-4-3 formation that he had never used before for the Super Eagles, and he had to now switch back to his 4-3-3 later. So he doesn't even know what he's even doing with the team. So I mean, I wasn't surprised. I told you that going to this AFCON, I'm not expecting anything from this team. So
Yeah.
losing to Guinea, it didn't come as a surprise to me. And for me, the last time this Super Eagles team defeated a decent team was against Egypt in the 2021 AFCON. Since then, anytime they come up against a decent, well-organized, tactical sound team, it's either they draw or they lose. It's only when they play against a very weak side that's when you see them scoring goals at plenty. But against a well-drilled
Okay.
side, they always struggle. So for me, I'm not going to this AFCON with high expectations. Whatever comes with it, we'll take it like that.
Oh, okay, of course. That's the position of a lot of Nigerians yesterday after that game. A lot of people expressed their frustration and lack of expectation. They're even saying the Super Eagles mantra, let's do it again, should be kept for the Super Falcons, who will also be playing in the AFCON later in the year. Okay, let's talk about the other friendlies. Of course, we have Botswana 1, Mozambique 1. Mozambique, they'll be playing at the AFCON. Botswana will not. Then Senegal 1 versus Niger. It ended 1 in favor of Senegal. A lot of people will have expected maybe a bigger scoreline. Then Ghana, Namibia, that was another thing that got the attention of a lot of many. Kayode, that game, let's talk about quickly Kudus. If he also missed AFCON, it's going to be a very big blow for the Black Stars because you remember Thomas Partey is already out quickly.
As it is today, Kudus is Ghana's biggest star, without any doubt, without disrespect to other players. And missing the AFCON for any player is a big loss. Missing the AFCON because these are the games, these are the competitions that at the end of your career, you look back and ask yourself, you tell yourself, I did well with my country, regardless of what you are able to achieve with your clubs. Because in the final analysis, it is the club, it is the country that has your back anytime, any day. So for me personally, for Kudus, it will be a huge loss because he has prepped himself for this competition. He is said to be Ghana's biggest star going into this competition, and missing it will be a huge loss, not only for him as a person, but also for the country, Ghana. Regardless of, see, at this point, I am not even bothered about results. So the fact that they played Namibia to a goalless draw does not mean that if they get to the AFCON proper and they have to play Namibia, that they might not defeat Namibia. But it is about the performance, the aggregation of the performance of the players as a team. That's what should matter to people. But when you now see a team, according to those who saw the Nigerian game, even from the team's camp, their performance was shambolic. That's why you could see that I was a little bit harder on Nigeria than Ghana, because it was not even about the result, it was about the performance. And you can't keep strolling into games as if you own the country, you own the pitch, and you own the referee and everything, and you expect us to keep supporting you blindly. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
At this point, you have to just get off your lazy behind and do something.
Okay, I think if Nigeria ended up not doing well at the AFCON, Kade should be one of the persons that should be held responsible because he has said right from time that Pesoro would not do anything much for Nigeria. James, let's get talking about Group F now, where we have Morocco, DR Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania. You would say that it is going to be all about Morocco in that group.
Yeah, on paper, you should want to give the group to Morocco based on why.
Even in
The World
reality.
Cup, yes, but Femi, they shouldn't be overconfident because South Africa defeated them in the qualifiers. So which means if they let their guards down, they might be shocked. This is the AFCON. The AFCON is the far different ball game when it comes to football. We've seen teams who did well in previous World Cup, like we mentioned there in the previous edition. Teams who did well at the previous World Cup, and you think they would take the AFCON by storm. At the end of the day, they didn't really do much. Cameroon, with what they did at Italia 90, in 1992, they finished fourth, and teams like that, after doing so well at the World Cup, the AFCON now, you don't see them because it's a different ball game. All lives will be on that team. And again, this is Africa, and the way we go about football, they are going to come up against very tough physical sides. So they should, like I said on paper, they should be the team that will top the group. But Femi, it's the same thing we said about Algeria the last edition and the crash in the group stage. So it will be a shock because everybody's tipping either Senegal or Morocco for Senegal the champions, and they still have their team intact. Morocco, because of their exploit at the last World Cup. But Femi, on paper, like I said, they should qualify from this group easily, but they should be very wary of the other teams because they are then Zambia, they are especially those two, Zambia, DRC. Maybe they have their work cut out.
Okay, Kyle, it's a far a distant time now to when Morocco had that impressive run at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The support was there, mentally, psychologically, the players were just in for it. Do you think they can replicate that run again in Cote d'Ivoire?
They have no choice. They have no choice. The minimum they can do will be a semi-final. And that will be acceptable. That will be acceptable. It's semi-final because they have to prove to us that the World Cup performance was not a flash in the pan. So more than any other country, as a matter of fact, any other country is allowed to fail, not Morocco. For obvious reasons. So the coach is under immense pressure, the players are under immense pressure. They have to, and they see, Femi, where they have boxed themselves into, because this is the price you have to pay for success. People expect you to turn up every time. Femi, ordinarily, if other teams do certain things and get away with it, you are not allowed to get away with anything less than excellent. It's just like you, if you are an A student in school, and then in one of your courses, you get a 70. For other students, a 70 is a very, very good mark. But you are used to getting 70, 85, 90, getting 70 is almost comparable to an outside.
It's a low, yeah.
It's a low. So that's why Morocco are condemned to do well at this AFCON.
Okay, James, just what Kyle has just said. Pressure is going to be on Walid Regragui because of what he did in his first major competition. The young man is 48 now. He has never taken the Atlas Lions to the AFCON before. This is going to be his first. So much pressure, particularly with what he achieved for his country and for Africa in Qatar. How much weight do you think is on his shoulder right now, James?
Femi, you now want to be in this position now because aside from the fact that they did well at the World Cup, Femi, the last time Morocco won the AFCON was 1976. That's like how many years ago now? And for a big country like that to only have one AFCON to their name. And Femi, one thing again that I've noticed about Morocco when it comes to the AFCON, they've not been that solid when it comes to the AFCON. If you check, after they won in 1976, the last time they played in the final again was 2004. So it means there was always this huge gap about them when it comes to this. So they are not a super, for me, I don't see them as a superpower when it comes to the AFCON. Find they're one of the big things we expect to do it, but if you check out their record, I mean, for a massive team like that to have only won the AFCON once, only since then played in the final just once in 2004. For me, that's too disappointing. And now on the back of what they did at the World Cup, Femi, they are going to this competition. The coach too, he knows that the pressure is massive because I don't know if they still either that team still maintain the same form, going to this AFCON. Like I said, it's going to be brutal. This AFCON. Like I said, what I said the other time, when Ghana did well in 2010, they got to the semi-final. 2012 AFCON. Cameroon did well in 1990. They got to the semi-final. They couldn't win it. Senegal did very well in 2002. They got to the quarterfinals in 2004 AFCON. So there's already a pattern. Teams that did well in the World Cup, the AFCON that comes after the World Cup is always a tough task for them. So they have their work cut out for me. I'm not going to be envious of the coach. He's going to have his answer. And just like what Coyote said, semi-final for at least the minimum expectation, semi-final for this Atlas Lions.
Okay, of course. Like you said, the players themselves have also put themselves in the spotlight. Someone might be wondering why we are talking about only Morocco in Group F. It's just at the back of what they did at the World Cup, and they're going to be favorites. So that's why we are trying to look at the team now. Let's talk about talk about the players now, Nesri, Nesri is still the one that is still trying to kick it in Morocco. Of course, the goalkeeper is now in Saudi Arabia. Then this other guy is back at Galatasaray. This Chelsea. What's his name now? Is in Galatasaray. Would you say that the players are still on the same level? Can we say that the players are still on the same level that they were in 2002?
Of course not. We have to seriously cut Morocco some slack. We have to cut them some slack. Apart from the fact that the players are not, then the expectations are also different. The players, the incentives are also different. The World Cup was a bigger show. Going to the World Cup, Morocco, don't forget, so people tend to forget certain things, Femi. Going to the World Cup, Femi, Morocco had a ready-made excuse not to do well. They had just gotten Regrao as coach a few months, just 2 or 3 months before the World Cup. So if they had failed, all of us would understand how it's because the coach was new and everything. But it turned out the other way. They did well at the World Cup. The expectations at the World Cup are always higher. Now it is not the same level of expectations now, although every serious country would also want to win the AFCON. Like James said, it's been a long time for Morocco. It is time they bring it to them. But then again, history might count against them because very few countries do well at the World Cup, and the subsequent Nations Cup, you see them doing as well. Off the top of my head, probably maybe what do you call? I can't even remember one now that did well at the World Cup before the AFCON, not AFCON before the World Cup now. You understand? So that could be a big problem. They are battling against current form, against history, against tough African oppositions. Because, tell me, the opposition at the AFCON is different from what you see at the World Cup. People don't understand that. I'm not saying the teams are better than at the World Cup, but the opposition is different. I mean, the level of opposition is, and that's why you see some of these the Nigerian team, why they struggle against African opposition is the fact that you don't come with an European mindset to play in Africa. I learned this from Rashidi Yekini over almost 30 years ago when he said that when you come to Africa, it's a totally different experience. You understand? So let's see how it pans out for Morocco. But like I said, that team, nobody should expect that they will be the same team as they were at the World Cup. I am already preparing my mind that they might not do as well as they did at the World Cup. But if they do, it will be a pleasant surprise.
Okay, let's talk about the other teams in Group F, where we have Zambia, then you have Tanzania, DR Congo. On paper, you might want to say by history, DR Congo should get the second automatic, qualification spot behind Morocco. But you can't also rule out Zambia, particularly with what Abraham Grant has been doing with that team. They are the current COSAFA champions holder. It tells how good they are. And they might just nick the second spot ahead of DR Congo that by history, you will think that would favor them.
Yeah, for me, I think I will even go for Zambia to finish second, in that group behind Morocco, because as of recent, you see that they've been doing well in the AFCON and eventually won it in 2012. It's like the recent times. The last time the DRC won it was 1974. Their first was 1968. So aside from that, they've not done much. They've not really shown that they have what it takes to challenge. They hardly get to the semi-final. I think the last time they got to the semi-final, if I'm not mistaken, was 1998. So that was the last time they got to the semi-final, if I'm not mistaken. Since then, they've just come off and puff and they go out. So for me, Zambia, they have a coach, a sound coach. No matter how you want to look at it, Abraham Grant is not a bad coach. It's just so unfortunate that in the two finals he got to the AFCON and the Champions League. He wasn't the one in charge. When God gets the penalties, it's totally out of your hands. So he is someone that's experienced. He has been in this competition before, so he understands the competition. And one thing about teams like Zambia, that the reason why I'm sticking to them is you had to pick out just one player. Going at the days of Kalusha Boale, aside from Kalusha, I don't think they parade. They don't really have just one player that you look at that this is the staff of the team. They always play like a collective. It's always a collective. Yeah, a team. That was what won them the AFCON in 2012. So they are a very tight unit, and with a coach that's sound. Like Abraham Grant. I want to stick to them. They are going to take the second spot.
Okay. Kyle, as we wrap up now, Avram Grant, he has established his very strong foothold on this team. He organized 2 sets of campaign, one at home, and they are currently in one away, I think, in South Africa now. He's talked about discipline, he's talked about fitness for the players. He tells you that he's intentional about what he wants to do at the AFCON. He might not even want to rule out Zambia, getting the second place ahead of DR Congo, and perhaps even trying to struggle with Morocco for the top spot.
The way the group is set up, Femi, Zambia played DR Congo in their first game. That should tell you that if they have any intentions of getting anything out of that group, they have to start from the first game. They cannot afford not to. Then they play Tanzania next, and by the time they're going to play Morocco in their last game, they will know what is required of them, either to come second or to win the group outrightly. And either of these two are a distinct possibility for them, Femi. I think they are not only capable of getting out of that group as second, they could actually shock everybody and win the group ahead of Morocco. This might sound very, very funny. It might sound ridiculous, but something just tells me that Zambia could shock all of us. Something just keeps telling me.
Okay, of course, if we've said that Morocco might not be able to replicate the form that they showed at the 2022 FIFA World Cup, anything is possible with Zambia. But we are not fair, James. We are not fair. We are just ruling out Tanzania. They could be one of the surprise team of the tournament. We are just ruling out Tanzania.
Femi, find Tanzania. They've been doing well, especially on the continent when it comes to club football. The Yanga and Simba. That's a different. That's club football. These are the heavyweights. They are around now, so it's going to be a different ball game. Fine, they will show their stuff. They will show us what they can do. But Femi, at the end of the day, they will not really go far.
Okay, Kyle, there is no chance for Tanzania at all as a wrap up. No chance.
No, realistically, they do not stand a chance, and that's not trying to belittle them. It's just that the combined effort, the combined firepower of Morocco and Zambia, and if even DR Congo might just be too much for them. That three game schedule in a week might just be too much for them. No, I don't see them going through.
Okay, with lack of quality as well. Well, we can't say. But we wish all the teams a very sweet preparation as we continue and injury free, because the news we are hearing from Nigeria and Ghana, we've talked about some other teams are also battling some injury with some key players that we have not heard of. As soon as we get them, of course, we bring them across to you. Tomorrow, it will be 3 days to the kickoff, and we will be getting into gear, looking at some other aspects of the competition here on Sport Africa. Please subscribe to our channel, share our videos, tell someone about Sport Africa. Like we told you, we have not even begun yet. The AFCON is just a few days away. Tomorrow, we'll be getting gear like we said about preparation and what CAF and other things are also doing for the 34th edition of the AFCON. Guys, thank you so much for your thoughts on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, Femi.
All right. So to our fans, we would not be here if not for you. So we thank you so much for your support. Keep supporting us. Please subscribe once again to our channel. We'll see you all tomorrow. I remain Asha Femi. Bye for now.